Here we are, two crime besties for another episode. How are you today, Meg?
Hey, Emma. I'm good. We're here. We've got school holidays going. It's evening. We've had wine. We should be right. We're good to go.
Yeah. Oh, if nothing else, we've got the Dutch courage behind us to keep it going. So that's something, I guess.
Yeah, that'll get it going. We'll be good. We're good.
It'll be fine. Yep, we've had to alter our schedule this week thanks to school holidays and different bits and pieces. So
Kids get in the way of everything, don't they?
Don't they though?
Steal all the fun.
Unbelievable. Yep, everything's about them.
Oh, totally.
Yep.
Yeah, but I love it too.
It is great. It is great. I actually love the school holidays. I love having that extra time to spend with them. Took the boys into the city today and had lunch with Peter. And then we went for a bit of a wander around DFO South Wharf and they got new school shoes. Can you even believe how much money you spend on school shoes in a year?
School shoes freaking kill me.
And they're just runners. It's not like our kids. Our kids don't go to a school where they need to wear leather shoes or anything. Actually, that'd probably be better.
They're probably cheaper, to be really honest. They're probably cheaper.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, the whole thing with the sneakers, it's just, it's so expensive.
It's so expensive. And now one of my kids is in men's sizing.
That just blows my mind.
That's like
size
next
of that
level.
shoe.
I know. His foot is now bigger than mine and he's 11.
He's going to have huge feet.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
And it's going to cost a fortune.
Yeah.
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 Oh, God. But they were really cool shoes.
They were cool. They were cool. Yeah.
Good sales at this time of year or no?
Yeah, no, they were good. I
Okay.
mean, they're still sprouting the end of season sale, end of financial year sale, even though it's well past
Start
the
of
end.
financial
Yeah.
year.
I'll take it though.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like paying full price for anything.
Oh, God, no, I refuse.
No.
I'll search for that shit, far and wide on the internet to find it cheaper somewhere.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
Although, when I was growing up, my best friend, her grandma was very, I'm going to say frugal, but she was very careful with her money.
Yeah.
And she used to do some really dumb things. Like she would go to a different shop to buy, say, eggs because they were like 12 cents cheaper. And I'm like, but
You're not
even as a
saving.
kid, I'm like, you would have spent more than 12 cents on petrol to get there.
Yeah.
That's not actually a saving.
Nah. Oh, I was legitimately this afternoon just sitting down going, I should do a Costco run. And then I kind of sat down, what do I need? Like, and put my things down, my usuals that I get, them, what am I low on and what am I fine for? And I'm like, is it actually going to be cheaper if I go to Costco? Like,
I feel like for the kids' snacky things it is.
but see, my kids are so fucking fussy that I'm likely to get there and go, no, nothing.
It's not exactly
It's not what they're going to want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm actually tempted to not. I've written down all my prices on my normal things because I just find sometimes my things that I get are like the nappy sand stuff for, and the,
That is definitely cheaper at Costco.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Definitely. You can never get it that cheap at the supermarket, even on half price.
This is it. Even on special, it's not going to get that, cheap. So I think that's what I need to get. And the other thing that you can't get it at Woolies unless you do the market thingy or whatever is the smelly ball things that you when you're washing stuff. I love those
things. I've never used them
love
before.
Them. I don't use them you don't need as much as they say, so they do last me ages. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm like I'm not like desperate for them, but while I'm there I should get one of those.
Stock up,
and
yeah.
But I'm still like, the other things I've got on my list, I'm like, I reckon it's probably much of a muchness between Woolies and Costco.
Yeah.
Then is it worth going all that way?
Yeah.
For one thing that might be cheaper?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely
Because
not.
that's a nightmare of a place.
And then also, I was going to say, the mental trauma of actually going there.
It's such a nightmare.
It's always a nightmare. It doesn't matter. I feel like with other shops, if you go early, it's fine.
Yeah.
You can get in and get out before the crowds come.
Yeah.
At Costco, it's shit literally from the minute they open to the minute they close.
Yeah. Yeah. And the car park.
Oh, horrific.
That just drives me mental. Can't handle that car park.
It's terrible.
Yeah. It really is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. So I'm just, I don't know, will I do it or not?
I feel like you should. I actually feel like you should just to stock up on those few things.
I'll go when I don't have any kids.
Yeah, that's right. Because dragging the kids around Costco's my God.
I haven't done it yet, and I'm like, yeah, thank God, because I think it's one of those things where I'll walk around there, they'll be like desperate for like, but no, I want that, I'll eat it or whatever, and you just know that you're taking home a fuck ton of something they're never going to touch again.
A friend of mine had an experience like that at Costco, and she bought this massive packet of cheese balls.
Yeah.
And her kids literally, and I'm talking it was like this giant tub of them. Right?
Yeah.
Her kids each ate one, so 2 went.
Oh, shit.
And they're like, nah, not for me. And then she said to me, she's like, do you want these? I'm like, no, I don't want them. Number one, where the hell am I going to put this giant jar of bloody cheese balls?
Yeah.
But also, I'm like, if your kids don't like them, I don't think my kids will like them either. So, yeah, good luck to you trying to find someone who wants to take that.
Absolutely. We actually started a fussy eaters pantry at my work.
Oh, tell me more.
Yeah. So like what we do is like if you even just a packet from Woolies, let alone a big massive packet of something from Costco, you sort of go, I think my kids are going to eat that. And then you get it home and they have one and they're like, nah, I don't like it. And you're like, oh crap, now I've got a whole box of them I've got to get rid of. So yeah, bring it in, put it in the pantry, and it's a give and take system. Like, you might see something that then someone can come in and just take one out of that box, take them home and try it with their kid and go, oh, my kid did like it. Now I'll go to Woolies and buy the whole pack. Like,
oh, I like this. So this is just for staff?
No.
Oh,
it's
anyone.
All, the whole school kind of thing. Like so you just
love that.
Yeah, come and pop your stuff in as you have things that you've tried and you've got a packet of something that you're like, now I need to get rid of that.
Yeah.
And and everyone else just like, you can just take one of, you take as much of you like, who cares? Like kind of stuff no one's watching, but like, because if it's something your kid does like, take the box or whatever. But if it's something that you're like, oh no, we wouldn't mind trying that. We've been eyeing that off, but I didn't want to buy a whole packet. Take one, go home, see if they like it.
That's the best.
Yeah, because we're just over the whole, and a lot of the parents were all talking about the fact that, our kids are fussy eaters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good one. Try it.
I love that idea. People should take that on.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
There's always stuff in there and there's always people taking from it. I love it. Works really well.
I'll bet.
Yes, good one.
Love it. Love it. I've had quite a large week.
Oh,
have you?
You. Well, a particular night. Yeah.
One of the nights.
You have had a week and a half. That is for damn sure.
So we're actually recording this a little bit late because last Friday, which would be our normal recording day, I had my 40th birthday party.
Yay!
I mean, it was great. I actually had the best night. I really had such an amazing time. It's rare that you get all of the people that you love in one room.
Yeah.
And it's nowadays, it's maybe for a milestone birthday. That's about it, really.
Yeah.
So loved it. Absolutely loved it. Night before. So my brother came over because we needed a bit of muscle and I also needed his decorating expertise. He's good at stuff like that. So he helped me do the balloon garland. So we spent like ages pumping up all these balloons, doing this balloon garland. It was great.
He's so good to do that.
I know, he's got way more patience than I do. I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the patience for it. I think I put 2 balloons in and that was enough for me. I was like,
I'm out.
Fuck this shit. I'm not doing it. I have zero patience for things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Matt will go and go and go until the job's done.
Yeah.
So,
hyperfixation.
Thanks, Matt, if you're listening. You'd better bloody be listening, by the way.
Yeah, no, you did a good job.
Did a good
impressive,
job.
Yeah.
But then we decided, while Matt was here, obviously use the muscle to move the furniture because we moved stuff out of our living room into the garage just so that we could have a bit of extra space. A bar, obviously.
Most important.
Had a bar brought in, had some furniture brought in. And when Peter and Matt moved the couch, I had the vacuum cleaner out because everyone knows underneath a couch is the most disgusting area of your house.
When you have kids, bloody oath.
I just don't even know when the last time I cleaned under there was. Well, it was the most disgusting thing. If it wasn't my brother, I would have been so embarrassed.
Oh, I've done that with when my couch had a little a defect kind of thing and I had to get someone in to fix it. And I literally had the vacuum on hand going, oh my God, this is going to be embarrassing. Like as soon as he lifts that couch up, I know this is what's going on here. But he said to me, he goes, don't worry, everyone's is the same.
Yeah, everyone's is the same.
But you're mortified.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I wasn't mortified because at least it was just my brother. But I had the vacuum cleaner out anyway so we could quickly get the job done. Anyway, when they picked up and they sort of moved the couch because it comes apart, so they had to kind of move it away from the wall so they could get it apart. And when Peter put his side of the couch down, he put it on the head of the vacuum cleaner. And so I put my fingers underneath the couch, pulled the head of the vacuum cleaner up, and then the whole couch came down on my fingers.
Because it's a floor.
It's a floor to the floor. Well, the front is open, but I was holding it on the side, which is to the floor. It's a solid wood panel. So I went, oh dear.
Oh, I'm sure that's
That
what you
hurts
said.
a little bit.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I actually, like, I know this sounds really dramatic, but I actually nearly passed out. It hurt so much.
No, I 100%, yes.
And then, anyway, I looked at my fingers and I'm like, oh, I think they're broken. So anyway, Peter's like, do you want to go to emergency? I'm like, no, I'm not sitting in emergency for 4 hours.
It's literally 5 minutes down the road from your place, though.
But it's also, like, I didn't want to sit there for a broken, like, fingers are fingers. Like, what can they actually do, really? So I went.
Give you some good painkillers?
Yeah, that would have been, well, I actually might have had some in the cupboard already.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I actually had I was an interrupted sleep. It was more the throbbing more than anything. Anyway, so the next morning, GP appointment, I was telling you this. I got into the GP at 8:50, had the x-ray at 9 a.m. The GP saw me again at 9:10.
That's insane.
With the result already there.
If that was with your kid, you would have been there for hours and they would have been
an
absolute nightmare. Like, you just know that never happens.
Never.
It was the universe saying, I've got your back. We know this has happened, but it's your 40th. We'll get you. We'll get you there.
So the GP was like, yeah, they're fractured. I'm like, yeah, I mean,
yeah. Squished.
Bit of a crush fracture to one of them. And so I had to go and get these absolutely revolting looking splints from the chemist before I could go and see the hand surgeon on Monday. So anyway, I was like, oh, no worries. I'm just not going to wear the splints to my party. Because
as soon as you said that to me, I was like, there's no way.
Oh, but they looked terrible and I had a whole outfit going on.
But to me, okay, yeah, whole outfit thing's one thing. But you can't be in that amount of pain trying to drink.
Yeah.
Like, put the priorities, like, in place here.
True. Well, in the end, I had to put them on because I bloody knocked them at one point and it nearly made me vomit.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's all good. My fingers are broken. 4 to 6 weeks and they'll be fine.
I don't know where Ollie gets it.
Don't know.
Nah.
No. Don't know. Poor accident-prone little child. Anyway, but the actual party was so much fun. I had the best night. It was really, really good fun.
It's good.
I was eating McDonald's in bed at 2 p.m. the next day, so that kind of gives you a bit of an idea about how fun it was.
I pulled a muscle on the dance floor.
Yes. The next day, Meg's like, oh, feeling it, but it wasn't a hangover. It was a pulled muscle.
Pulled muscle in my stomach.
I love it. It's so good.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was such a fun night. The cocktails were on point.
Yeah. Did you have one of those cocktails where they put that, like, bubble on top?
No.
That's rude. They had one of those, like, little gun things. It was like a bubble. But I was like, what do I do with it? Do I pop it? Do I suck in the fumes? I actually don't know.
Yeah, no, every time, like, everyone else would come and go, oh, I got the bubble. And I'm like, no.
I think you need to ask for the bubble maybe, Meg.
Oh, I was pretty desperate for the drink rather than the bubble.
Yeah, fair. Like, if it's going to take longer to get my drink, I don't want the fucking bubble, thanks.
I'll just take the spicy marg, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was drinking most of the night.
Yeah. I figured it was just fun. Not... Maybe that only went with another drink. It wasn't maybe the spicy marg that got the bubble.
Maybe. I actually have no idea.
No, I don't know.
No idea. Anyway, that was lots of fun. And then it was my mum's 70th the next day. So happy 70th, Mum.
Oh, happy birthday, Lynn.
A couple of days ago. We're actually going away this weekend for her 70th as a family. So that'll be fun. Yeah, it's been a big week in our family.
Yeah, it's
always
huge.
get to share the milestone birthdays with my mum.
Yeah, I'm the same with my dad.
Are you?
Yeah, but he's 40 years older than me.
Yeah,
yeah. No, it's funny. It's good though when you get to share them.
It's good. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's very special.
Yep. I've got a few shout outs for today.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God, now I've got to find my shout outs. There they are. I was just saying to you before we started, my notes are everywhere for this one. So anyway, that's fine.
Oh.
We're doing our best. We're fine. We're good. We are shouting out today. We've got Nikki Egan, Wilson Tessa, Kirsty, Kim O'Loughlin, Emily and Stacey. Thank you very much for all your comments and likes and engagement with us on all of the different types of media. So through Spotify and also through Instagram and Facebook. And then we have a very special shout out to Sophie Victory, who she said she's bought us quite a number of coffees. So thank you so much, Sophie. We really appreciate it.
Really
but
appreciate
she said that she listens to a lot of podcasts and ours is her favourite. So thank you,
I love
Sophie. That means so much to us. Like,
absolutely.
we love listening to podcasts too.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're your favourite,
I
mean,
know.
oh my God.
I feel
Thank
special.
you. It feels really special.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. We're getting so much engagement in all platforms and stuff at the moment. And yeah, such lovely messages that we're getting, inboxes and stuff. It's just so nice. So yeah, we love it. Thanks you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. We really, really and truly appreciate it.
I think we got our first bit of trolling the other night too, which was pretty hilarious. I love it.
What was the comment again?
Just, podcast sucks.
Your podcast sucks. We're like, oh, we know we've made it.
I love that. I think
the fact that people will take the time to comment, like, if you don't like it, just move on.
Move on. Don't listen. Okay, great.
Not that it affects us at all. Could not care less. But actually, you know what? We actually really appreciate the comment. Negative, good, bad, or ugly. We'll take them.
Still fixes the algorithm up for us.
Yeah, that's right.
But it also just makes me go like, you know, I feel like you've made it when you're getting trolled.
Oh,
like,
totally.
You know, it actually there's that it is another level of you know, of spreading the podcast out there. So
for sure.
I love it.
For sure.
So thanks.
Thank you. Another development that's happened this week. So this is actually going to come out a few weeks later. So we are a little bit late to the party on this one, but Mushroom Lady.
Oh, Erin Patterson.
So we're recording this on a Wednesday night. The verdict came out on Monday.
And I had like an absolute moment because I had it on alerts, right?
Yeah.
To like because I'm like, this has got to come eventually.
Oh, it's
11 days of them deliberating. It was in the end.
Oh, I thought it was 6.
I'm pretty sure it was 11.
Oh,
it was quite a while.
Okay.
But I had it on had it on alert so that it would come through that it was happening. And then so I got this alert saying, you know, like 25 minutes or something, and it was coming through, and I'm like, oh my god, I have a spa treatment booked.
well, that's you're not gonna go into that relaxed.
I know.
If this
I'm
is
like,
pending.
oh my god, I'm so like, I don't care if it means that the treatment goes long. Like, you know, I lose some of my treatment time.
Yeah.
I need to just hear the guilty, not guilty, whatever that is, and then I can go into the treatment.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to, you know, hear all of it. Like, I just need that snippet of information prior. And it was like my appointment was 2:30, but it was meant to come through at 2:15. The announcement, but you know, they always like take a bit longer. And I'm like, well, thank God the spa is like very close to my house.
2 seconds from your house, yeah.
Thank God I can like literally walk out this door with 1 minute spare and I will still get there in time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So it was close. It was a close call, but I got to listen to their verdict and then out the door.
I mean, it was such a short verdict. It only went for 3 minutes, or just under 3 minutes. So that was incredible.
Oh, unbelievable.
But I mean, we're going to have to, we will absolutely cover this case at some point because there's so much. I was reading an opinion article about this today, and the commentator basically said, and it was Annabelle Crabb, I bloody love her.
Yep.
But she basically said, in a media landscape that is already saturated with mushroom content, it would be remiss of me not to add my opinion.
Yeah.
Basically. And I'm like, okay, that's how I feel too. But I feel like we'll probably cover this after she's been sentenced. So it might be months and months yet before we decide to cover it.
Yeah, no,
we want it to be all over and done
we've got appeals potentially. I don't. My gut instinct is that they may not appeal.
So,
but yeah,
she has 28 days after sentencing to appeal, and sentencing could be months
No, it's
away.
28 days from
No, it's from sentencing.
conviction, isn't it?
No, it's from sentencing. So she's actually got potentially sentencing might not happen for a few months.
I thought they do the sentencing after the appeals process had passed.
No.
So okay, cool.
No, she can appeal after sentence.
Still after sentencing. All right, cool. So it's got a mention coming up in August.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's what they're hoping will turn into a sentencing.
No. That is what they call it it's just a hearing basically so that the judge can hear from both sides to say what they think the sentence should be. Then he's got time to go back and reconsider
Will they do
what it will be.
Victim impact statements then?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. That's maybe what I got confused with. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm intrigued to me, it's life, at least one, if not 3.
She's she's been convicted of 3 murders.
Yeah,
so,
and
an attempted murder.
Yeah.
I feel like that wouldn't be an unreasonable sentence to expect.
No, it's got to be life. But
yeah,
so we'll see what happens. But as I say, appeals process could still play out, but I don't know. My gut instinct is that from what the lawyers didn't come out straight after the conviction and say this isn't okay. We're going to keep going. So they were pretty much I'm out the door.
I think that's very telling.
I think that's very telling.
Come out and said straight away that they've got
a plan of attack here or anything.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to have to scrutinise the entire proceedings if they're going to
try and find what they could appeal on.
But to be fair, I feel like Justice Beale did an amazing job, especially with that 6 days of instruction to the jury.
Yeah.
How could they even pick holes in that? I don't know.
No,
I just can't imagine that they could.
Every I was dotted, every T was crossed. I think it was done very well, the trial in that aspect. And then on the side of both the defence and the prosecution, I think both did a good job of presenting cases and trying to present reasonable doubt. I think that was definitely done well by the defence, but not well enough because the evidence was there.
That's right.
So
absolutely,
the prosecution put their case well and truly forward.
Yep.
So I don't think there's really grounds for an appeal, but you never know. You never know.
Time will tell. We might even know by the time this by the time this episode airs. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wonder whether they'll come out and announce it. As in like, no, we're not going to appeal, or we're planning to. It's coming. So it'd be interesting to see if we get ongoing information. But I love the ongoing little snippets here and there of like, okay, well, clearly there's going to be like a Netflix movie or whatever. So who's going to play her?
Oh, who do you think?
I have some front runners.
Okay, go.
Well, my first pick is, if she was well enough, Magda Szubanski.
Oh. I just don't know that I could take her seriously.
Because my other one of my...
I love Magda.
Yeah.
I think she's amazing, but I just can't imagine her in that role because... I feel like I just want to laugh.
Well, because my other one of like that similar vein, but even more, it would have to be a piss take, is Chris Lilly. I think he'd do a great.
Maybe in a couple of years when the dust has settled, he should bring out his own. But apparently, like I've heard that there are certainly... documentarians down there capturing everything down in Morwell over this trial period. So I feel like there will absolutely be something. I mean, the fact that the interest in this is worldwide, it's not just Victoria where we live, it is worldwide. People are fascinated by this. And the fascination comes from the fact that it is such a rare thing to happen. She's a woman. Serial killers are generally not women.
At the moment, she actually fits into the category of mass murderer, not serial killer.
Oh, that's true, because she hasn't killed 4 people.
But has she?
Well, actually, that is fair. All right, we're not going to talk about that right now. But. So there's that, right? There's the fact that women don't poison people generally unless it's a spouse.
Yeah, but women are more likely to poison than men.
That's true.
Yeah.
She's murdered her in-laws. That is, murdered her in-laws and in-law... aunties and uncle-in-law?
I mean,
attempted murder on the uncle-in-law.
Obviously no motive was given at the trial, any potential motive was sort of not presented, which you don't have to, and that's, that's completely fine. But when you think about it in terms of that, like if she was targeting particular people but ended up targeting people that I don't know that she had who had no stake in the game, you know what I mean? Like... She had no...
Oh, I can't wait to actually talk to you about this freely.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we probably can't say at the moment because we don't want to put things out there that could in any way jeopardize anything that's to come. And look, we're not deluded. We know that we're a little fish in a very, 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 very massive ocean. Oh, God, yeah. But... we're still very conscious and we want to do the right thing. So we're going to wait until all of the proceedings are done, everything's done and dusted, and then we will present this case and we'll definitely jump in. I can't wait for it, actually.
Same. Because at the end of the day, we do need to think of like the victims in this, and which the victims are those that have died. The guy who was nearly murdered, as well as her ex-husband who wasn't there but didn't fall ill, but he's still a victim in this. But then there's her kids and, and just the the rest of the family.
The staff at the hospitals and all of that. The far-reaching impact of this, I think, is actually probably unknown.
Yeah.
I know we heard from so many witnesses in the court proceedings.
Yeah.
But, that was, 50-odd people, I think.
Yeah.
That would have affected all of them in some way. But that wouldn't even come close to, the change in the community of Leongatha.
Oh, yeah.
The people who, they've lost pillars of their community. That changes the landscape for them. So that doesn't go unnoticed, and we absolutely acknowledge that. And I think whenever we're talking about things like this, we always try and keep the victims in the forefront of our mind.
Yeah.
And
they have got lost in this one a little bit, I think.
I think so. I think so because of the sensationalism of it. And the memes are funny.
Oh,
but
very funny.
Then also they're great. And people are so clever.
Oh, yeah.
But then at the end of the day, 3 people have died and 1 person almost died. And then
he's probably got ongoing medical issues from what happened.
Absolutely, he would.
Yeah.
And there's 2 kids now without a mum. That's horrific.
And could have lost their dad when you really put it in, when you think about it.
So, while there's some joviality to it, we also acknowledge the fact that it's heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't want to take away from that.
No, definitely not.
So on that note, should we get into today's case?
Today's one's a good one in that, it's so different.
So different. Well, first of all, I think this is our first case from a non-English speaking country.
True.
And so today we are talking about the Butcher of Delhi, so Chandrakant Jha. Mm-hmm. There is a Netflix documentary about this case, and it's really interesting. Now, I need to know.
Yeah.
Did you watch it with subtitles or dubbed?
No, I watched the dubbed one. Okay. Yeah, not the subtitle. Which did you do?
So I did the first 2 episodes I did subtitled, and then there's only 3 episodes to it. The 3rd episode I did dubbed. Mm-hmm. I was so impressed with the dubbing. I then went back and looked at certain bits of episode 1 and 2 with the dubbing, and I'm like, they have done a really good job.
Incredible. Well, I mean, the thing is that got me though a little bit was with the dubbing was that there were quite a number of people in it who spoke English.
Yeah.
And they even dubbed them.
Yeah.
Which I get from a point of a thick accent, all that sort of thing can help, make it hard to understand sometimes. So they've dubbed it. But yeah, so
listening. Okay. Yeah. So because I watched the first 2 with subtitles, even when the people who were speaking English came on, I had to read the subtitles because I couldn't understand them.
Yes.
And it was more like a dialect thing, and the way they talked that really threw me. It wasn't the way I'm used to listening to people speak.
Yes.
So I found that I needed to still read the subtitles anyway. So I get why they dubbed English over English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good choice. Yeah. No, the dubbing was spot on. It was so good. I mean, there's plenty of shows with dub and I can't watch.
Oh, you can't.
Just can't. There's a few recently that I've watched that haven't been docos or anything that I've watched of dubs. And it's oh no, it just throws me entirely. Can't watch. Whereas that you could literally watch or listen both and just be engrossed in it and that's not actually think about it at all.
Did you find you were engrossed in it though?
No,
same.
There were particular it went up and down. It did lose me at bits, particularly episode 2.
Yep.
I feel like it almost didn't need episode 2. No.
They could have done it in 1 episode, to be fair.
I just wonder whether Netflix have done it in a it's been sold as you need a 3-parter, and they've had to create a 3-parter about something that's maybe not got enough in it to make it a 3-parter. But the people they had speaking in it were very knowledgeable, incredibly intelligent people.
Absolutely.
The one that got me a little bit was, I can't think of her name now, but she was a professor, and I believe she had a psychology background, and she spoke mainly around the psychology of I'm going to, as I said to you,
Chandrakant.
Chandrakant.
So we apologise in advance.
Big time.
This case is set in India. There are so many Indian names. We are going
places.
We are going to do our best to pronounce them, but we're really, really sorry if we butcher it.
Yeah.
There we go.
As I said
We're
to you, I'm
butchering
going
it.
to butcher it. Like, totally.
Really sorry if we do. We truly are doing our best.
I was like, can we call him Jha?
Yeah, we can call him
Do
Jha.
Jha. Because Chandrakant Jha is his name.
Yeah.
Full name. So, yeah, she sort of spoke about his, like, the psychology of him and all these sorts of things. And she was very intelligent but I don't know what her connection to the case was, as in, did she work the case at the time, or is she just looked at this after the fact?
Oh, see, I got the impression she worked the case.
See, I don't know that she did.
Okay.
And I kind of at the end of it kind of went, okay, I don't really get but where are you in this? Like, where did you get brought in? Like, yeah. Whereas obviously the police officers and things that spoke, you know what their role was in it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But yes,
it was an interesting one. I have to say, I wasn't a massive fan of the documentary. I love me a true crime documentary, obviously.
Absolutely.
I mean, the fact that we do this podcast.
Yeah.
This one just didn't really hook me in.
No, I found myself listening and then tuning out and doing things, which often with a true crime doco, I don't tune out. I'm engrossed the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. Whereas this one I did. I was in and out.
It took me a week to watch the 3 episodes. Like, I really struggled with it. I think because it was so slow, and I feel as though they were building to something, but there was never any real, like, nothing ever fully hit home. Like, it just, I don't know. To me, it wasn't what I was expecting, and not what I'd probably come to expect from a Netflix documentary, to be honest.
No, very different format, I think. Yeah, I agree. No.
But anyway, let's get into the case. And if people want to know more, you can watch the documentary. However, I have to say, when I was researching this, there isn't a huge amount of other information out there.
I did wonder a little bit on that. Is that because I'm looking in English? Like, you know, that maybe if I spoke a different language, if I spoke, I'm guessing Hindi is most what they speak.
Hindi,
that, like, if I was looking in Hindi, then maybe I would find more. And maybe it was just that the fact that I was, obviously it was my Google search is going to find me all the English stuff.
Language stuff, yeah.
Although I did find court documents and things like that, and they were in English. So I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah, it was just I feel like I've got holes in this, like, that I haven't filled. Yeah.
There are some gaps, and I wonder whether that's because that information has just possibly never been released. I feel like if that documentary couldn't plug those gaps, then maybe the information is not freely available.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I feel exactly the same way. And then also the timeline of events in certain things, I've found a lot of discrepancy. So there's some police files you can see online, and their timeline does not match up with what's then presented in the documentary. And then
that could be a little bit to do with their legal system though too, because what happens there is, so in a police interview, you can sit there and confess and tell them everything about the crime that you've done. None of that can be used in court unless they find evidence to prove it. So, like here in Australia, if that interview that you did with the police officers would be used as evidence. That's not the case in India. It cannot be used as evidence. They have to externally find all the evidence.
Yeah, because apparently, you could essentially go to court then and recant your confession.
Yes.
And then they would have no leg to stand on, so they wouldn't even bring anything to prosecution unless they've got solid evidence.
Yeah.
So that's why this case is very strange. I think, I mean, for us, from our perspective, because we've got I guess the Australian legal system or maybe the Western world's legal system in our minds, it seems bizarre. But you're right, we need to make sure we're looking at this from the lens of the Indian judicial system and the way they work. So you're absolutely right. So they cannot prosecute somebody unless they've got physical evidence to prove the crime.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe there's information that you're getting that could be from those interviews.
Yeah.
But then, what they've been able to present at court is slightly different because of the evidence they've gained.
Yeah.
So, that's where I think we get a few things that don't marry up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Whereas in our system, we think we tie that up a lot more.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, let's get into it.
Right.
So Chandrakant Jha was from the village of Gosai in Bihar, and he was born to are Chandrakant Jha and Champadevi. So Radhi was his dad and Champadevi was his mum. He grew up in an incredibly poor family. Very, 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 very poor family. His mum was a school teacher, I believe, although she never provided any type of education for her sons. He was one of 6 children to his mum and dad. I think he was the 6th. I think he was the youngest in the family. And they were all boys. Oh, my God. Can you imagine having 6 boys?
I can't even. No, 2 is more than enough.
2 is enough. The fact that my 2 just were bashing each other 5 minutes ago. Imagine having 6 of them.
Oh.
And they were all pretty close in age, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I actually can't. Do you know what his dad did for work?
No, because I about 3 different places I had 3 different answers to that question. So,
okay, because I couldn't find it either.
Yeah, I've got in one place where it said that he worked in the irrigation department.
Oh, I did see that actually. Yeah.
But then I've got other ones that said very different information too.
Okay.
So
his dad was employed,
yeah,
but they lived on the poverty line. According to lots of different people from their village, so they lived in a village. They lived in mud brick type houses with no floors. It was like dirt floors. They lived a very, very basic life. They had no plumbing and they certainly had want for a lot of what we would consider in the Western world basic life necessities like a flushing toilet and that kind of thing. That sort of certainly wasn't their experience or their upbringing. With 6 kids to care for, 6 boys to care for nonetheless, Chandrakant and his siblings were really left to fend for themselves because their mum was actually quite neglectful. Their dad was out working and he would apparently, again, in whatever work it was that he did, he would actually have to leave the family village and the family home to go and do whatever it was that he did for work. And his mum, who was trained as a school teacher, actually didn't work after she had children, which I believe was quite customary of the time.
Yeah.
But she also then really neglected her children to the point where they would often go hungry unless they found food for themselves. And when I say found food, they had to steal food from other people or steal food from markets and that kind of thing. She didn't ever hug them. There was no physical contact, and I just feel like the 6 of those boys just really grew up in a really neglectful environment.
Yeah.
So, you know, in an impoverished nation, you can't provide your children food. That would be horrific, but you can always hug your kid. You can always kiss them. You can always provide that physical comfort, but she just never had that. Apparently she was a really hard woman.
Yeah.
People from the village were scared of her and wouldn't approach her. She must have had issues of her own.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So apparently she was quite contentious and would always get in a fight. Like if somebody came and approached them, she was sort of always there. Formal education was a luxury that none of the children were able to experience. And so from a fairly, I think Chandrakant went to school up until year 8, but that was it.
Yeah.
And then after that, the expectation was that he would go out and get a job and provide for the family, for the rest of the family, as was the responsibility of the 7 older brothers of his.
Yeah.
In order to do that, he decided to make his way. Oh, by the way, he was born in like 1967, I think.
1967. I couldn't find a birth date, but 1967.
Just to give you that context, sorry. So after he'd finished year 8, he tried to find employment, I think, in their village, but there wasn't a lot going around. And he'd actually already been involved in some pretty serious crimes. Now, none of these have been prosecuted. None of them are proven or anything like that. But in the documentary, they interview a man who was of similar age to Jha. Yeah. And that he basically says that he'd killed people in the village for, you know, not helping him with things, or he had this strong sense of what he thought was right or wrong. And if anyone stepped outside that, then he fucking murdered them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what murder says about
No.
you, but...
And people knew this of him, but they were too scared of him to approach him in any way or to, call him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, and there was interesting relationships with people who lived in these poverty sort of stricken areas and police. So they weren't able to even really have police officers come and look at this.
No, it wasn't a thing. And there was a lot of corruption as well.
Yeah.
He did get married in the village not long before he left there, but then he and his wife, apparently she moved up north, he moved to Delhi. That relationship just dissolved. Like there was no children were born of that relationship. I believe it was an arranged marriage that just went nowhere.
Yeah, right.
He then met a second wife. They went on to have 5 daughters. Yeah. So he's come from a family of 6 boys to then go on and have 5 girls. That would have been a bit of a
difference.
Bit of a shake-up. But the weird thing is, so he'd moved to Delhi by this point, by the time he'd met his second wife. He housed them in a so he lived in a certain part of Delhi. He housed them on the outskirts of Delhi. He never, ever, ever, ever lived with his wife and children.
That's really intriguing.
Isn't it?
Because that was a bit where I kind of got a bit confused as to how, well, where's his wife and his kids now? Like it was almost like
never lived together.
Oh, God. So he just didn't have a relationship with them?
No, not until they were older.
Right.
So when they were young, he had no relationship
Nothing to do with
them at all.
See, that's his mum coming out with that,
sure.
distance. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Aside from sending them money, that was it.
Okay, so financially he would support them.
Well,
but
I don't know how
well
much, he did that, but he certainly did. I know he sent them money.
Yeah.
He did support them in some way financially there.
Yeah, gosh.
It's really such a fascinating dynamic. I just can't imagine living like that myself.
No,
but
it blows my mind.
He was working in Delhi. And so we were talking about this just before we hit record, actually, because they call anybody who wasn't born in Delhi who immigrates to Delhi an immigrant.
Yeah.
And so the town that he grew up in was 900 kilometres from Delhi. And when he moved there, he was an immigrant and he was seen as less than because of the village that he came from. He was seen as uneducated, as a lower class, a lower caste, due to just where he grew up and the colour of his skin. He had much darker skin than a lot of the people that lived in Delhi at the time, or probably still do. And so people knew also by the way he spoke and the way he wrote and by his dialect that he wasn't from Delhi, and that made him lesser.
Yeah. And they also apparently what happens is when you move like into Delhi from out of villages, they tend to still find people from their own village and stay within those sort of groups because everyone is a bit like, well, you're not from here, you're an immigrant,
right.
So there is quite segregated kind of, parts of the city like that you sort of stick with your village people and so they don't mix in, so they don't come to Delhi and just be part of the makeup of it. I found that really interesting that it wasn't. I thought that it would be more, you come to Delhi to chase your dreams because it's the capital and everyone's there doing the same thing. But it seemed like that didn't really change that much for you. Yes, it was more opportunities for work, but you were still considered the lonely, it wasn't, it didn't immediately change your status, that's for sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So he was working in a fruit and veg market.
Yes.
And stealing various bits and pieces to then sell later at night for himself.
Yeah.
And there was a man by the what was his name? Sorry, I'm going to get it. But they basically had like the head of that area of the fruit and veg. So this guy's name was Pandit.
Yeah.
And he would come around and he was actually like paying off the police as well. So it was a very corrupt kind of situation. But all of the fruit and veg stall holders had to pay Pandit a certain amount of money, I guess, to keep them safe or to keep them there. I really don't know. And he would pay, so Chandrakant would pay this money to Pandit, and then Pandit decided that he would actually take all of their money and then decide how much he would give back to them in
Yeah.
order to live. And this pissed Chandrakant off no end.
Yeah.
I get that.
Oh, yeah.
He's already living a pretty tough life. By this stage, he did have a place. He did have like a house. Again, very rudimentary in terms of what we probably think of houses in this day and age, or in Australia for sure.
Yeah.
And I know people in India and in lots of developing countries around the world still live like this. He lived in a slum essentially and would allow friends of his to come and stay with him and his employees to come and stay with him. He actually paid his employees in food and board, not in money. So these people were literally there to eat and have a roof over their heads and nothing more. They were never going to be able to do any better than that.
Yeah, that's such a it doesn't work, that system, does it? I mean, you can't make better for yourself, can you? And
no, but I don't know that there's potentially for these people there was no other opportunity. This was it for them.
Yeah.
So the fact that Jha had gotten himself into a position where he was kind of in charge of that, I mean, I guess to some extent, good on him. You know, he's kind of gotten in at that level. Interesting one.
Very much so.
Yeah. So this, I mean, I guess you can tell by the name of the documentary, The Butcher of Delhi.
Yeah.
Pandit ended up becoming the first known victim of Jha.
Yeah.
In 1998, so Jha also goes by the name of Mangal, but everyone knew him as Pandit.
Yeah.
Pandit had been, well, according to Jha, had been tormenting him essentially and demanding he give him more money. It was a sort of a financial control. So this was a bit of an altercation where Pandit had asked for money. Jha had a knife because he was cutting up fruit or vegetables or something and had cut Pandit's hand. And because Pandit had a tie-in with the police, because he would pay off the police, Pandit basically went to the police and said, he stabbed me. The police normally would never have done anything about that, but because it was Pandit making the complaint, they arrested Jha and he went to prison for 4 years, I think.
Yeah, he was released in 2002.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he spent time in, what was the name of the prison? Tehar prison. It was a maximum security prison. Huge. I looked it up on Google Maps because I'm like, I need to get a visual idea of how big this place is because there's like all these gates and it is like a village in and of itself. There are so many people in there. I couldn't actually get an accurate count because I don't think they know.
Well, I mean, when 500 murders happen every year in Delhi.
Just in Delhi. Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing, the population that we're talking about is huge. I mean,
there's 1 billion people in India.
Yeah. I mean, 500 murders are happening in Delhi. That's probably the most in the world happening in a year in one place.
No.
But it's actually per capita not
that bad. Yes. Sorry, by volume. I see what you're saying. Yes. But per capita, it's normal.
Per capita, actually, it's actually not terrible.
No, I actually did the calculations because I was interested.
Yeah.
So I was only able to get the stats in Australia. The latest I was able to get was 2003. There were 409 murders in Australia in 2003.
Right.
Which is 0.00002%. In India, in that same year, there were 30,000 murders. 30,000 murders.
Yeah.
But that only represented 0.00003%.
Yeah, not much.
So 0.00001% more than Australia. However, crimes in India are wildly underreported.
Yes.
In some areas, it's estimated that up to 80% of murders are not actually reported to the police, or if they are reported to the police, they do nothing about it.
Which is like what we're talking about with in terms of Jha, in terms of back in his village.
Yep.
He quite possibly killed a number of people.
Well, they're saying it could be like 40 people he killed in his village that no one is talking about. No one is.
That's insane.
No one knows where the bodies are or what's going on.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why they don't know who the bodies are. But we'll get to it. Yeah. That's just insane that they're not reported, and so therefore there's a whole lot more going on than what we know. But the size of the population just means that it's just a splash in the ocean. Like, it's not.
But for us in Australia, we've got enough police resources to investigate 409 murders across the country in a year.
Yeah, well, do we? We could do some more.
Absolutely. Yeah. We absolutely could do with more. And I'm sure all the homicide detectives are probably like, we need more resources. Of course you do.
Yeah.
But imagine having 30,000 to investigate in a year.
Yeah.
That's 85 a day on average or something like that. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's insane. There is no way. And that is just the murders that are reported and try to be investigated. That's not every other one that's not. So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So Jha was released in 2002 from that altercation with Pandit because of lack of evidence. There was, again, we kind of came to this bit where, there actually wasn't any evidence. The eyewitnesses decided not to talk and not to corroborate. So at this point, when he came out of prison, he transitioned from selling vegetables to dealing in like plastic goods. He also would rob like television stores and then sell TVs or whatever from electronic stores that he sold. And this is my favourite bit. He took up karate at this point to, really be able to defend himself.
Well, oh, God. Just stay away from me.
Stay away. So, and around this time, he actually murdered Pandit as well. So that was in 2002, right?
I believe so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Again, dates are sketchy.
It's sketchy.
Dates are sketchy.
Yeah.
Then,
sorry, I was just going to say, while he was in prison, we'll find out that later more so about this, but he claims that whilst he was in prison that he was tormented and humiliated by guards. Yes. I can only imagine the prison would have been pretty hard to live in, and he was there for 4 years, that it wouldn't have been a nice place to be, I dare say, and knowing what the corruption of the cops are like on the streets, I can just imagine what the guards would be like in a prison and how people would be treated in there. Not that if you've been convicted of murders and things like that, I don't think that you need to be treated, like a prince.
Yeah.
But there's also human rights.
Basic human rights. That's right.
But I don't believe those basic human rights are necessarily being met at times in this prison. So we should just sort of say that sort of he claims that really twisted him a bit, but I think it was already there.
Absolutely, he was already there.
Yeah.
In June of 2003, he committed what we think is his second murder. I mean, as we said, there's potentially dozens, if not tens and tens of murders before this.
Yes.
But he took the life of one of his associates named Shikha.
Yep.
He said he had this MO for all of his killings, all of his murders. It was when he felt people were immoral or did something that he didn't approve of. Killing's fine, obviously.
Yeah.
Don't worry about killing. That's not on the table.
He justified that because they had wronged him.
They had wronged him, or
and it could have been very
the world.
Minimal amount.
Some of the things he killed people for, we'll get to that in a sec.
His reasons
terrible.
Yeah.
He said Shikha was an alcoholic, and he said he was deceitful about money. Apparently, Jha thought that he'd stolen money from him. Whether or not he had, I don't know.
Yeah.
After the murder, he actually disposed of Shikha's body in a sewage drain in Delhi, in Alipur in Delhi.
He'd already started dismembering them at that point, had he? Yes.
Yeah. So this was the first body that he'd attempted to dismember.
Right.
But he disposed of the whole body together in this instance.
Okay.
In November of 2003, so a few months later, he then murdered his co-worker Umesh for dishonesty and betrayal.
Yep.
This time he further dismembered the body and left it wrapped in a plastic sack in front of the Tehar jail's gate number 1. So this was the jail that he'd spent that 4 years in.
Yep.
And he actually had wrapped the body in newspaper and then plastic and left it in a basket, I believe, was it?
Yeah, it was in a basket.
In like a food type basket that they would take to, say, the market to gather all of their food.
Yep.
And he left it in front of the jail and nobody really even knew what was inside of it.
No.
In October of 2005, he killed Godu due to his disapproval of Godu's extravagant lifestyle, whatever that means. I don't really know, because Godu was another associate of his who never earned money from Jha, just earned food and a roof over his head. He said he was a ganja smoker.
Yep.
That's second time that word's come up in an episode recently.
Yes.
And so he really disapproved of that. Godu's body was discovered near Sulab in northwest Delhi.
Right.
And he was dismembered, but again, his body was all in the same spot. All of his bits and pieces were all in the same spot. After this murder, things started escalating.
Yeah.
He murdered his associate Amit Mandal for his womanizing behaviour.
Oh, yeah.
How dare he? I believe Amit had actually tried to crack onto one of his daughters, actually.
Oh, okay. So he was in contact with them at that stage?
He was in contact with them at this stage. They were older by then.
Yep.
His children were teenagers, if not in their early 20s by this stage. And, I mean, this man was the same age as them. Like, he was young too.
Yeah.
But obviously Jha didn't like that.
And that's something that was spoken about on a podcast that I listened to called Crime Scene.
Okay.
It was a very interesting take on these things, because what they had there's an Australian woman who's in it, as well as two Americans.
Okay.
One of them she's from Oklahoma, but she has Indian heritage. She speaks Hindi, So she watched the 3-part documentary in Hindi.
Oh, okay.
No subtitles, no dubbing, and also watch the dubbed version in English, right?
Ooh.
Which I'll come back to in terms of some of her interpretations of things that might show up. But also what she spoke about really interestingly was that in India, like, women are kind of thought of as a bit of a second-class citizen, and that she was quite surprised by these serial killings being of young men, because typically this kind of harm would be done to women, whereas being done to men is very unusual. So, and I guess in general across the world that is the case. I mean, more likely women are going to be attacked than men. But he didn't target a single female, which I find that very interesting. Then he's had daughters as well, and whether that's and it was his mum who was cruel to him, but he hasn't targeted females. He has gone for men in targeting for all of his victims.
That's that is actually really fascinating.
Yeah.
I've got some notes. We'll get to them in a bit, but I did read an analysis by an Indian psychiatrist about him. She does state that he has never had any psychometric testing or anything like that, because it's not actually generally part of what they go through for their judicial inquiries or any part of that judicial system. So the person has to be willing to undertake that independently.
Okay.
And obviously he hasn't done that.
No.
But she said in everything that she's seen of him, read of him, she's done an analysis. I'll read that to you in a little bit, because that was really fascinating too, to see it from her perspective and what she thinks the trigger points were.
Yeah, yeah.
So Amit is dismembered completely. His head, arms and legs were dismembered and deposited elsewhere. The remaining body, so basically his torso, also his penis was cut off.
Yes.
The torso was left in front of the Tehar jail again. The rest of his body parts were actually left in front of a courthouse, which was about 20 kilometres up the road. It was the Tiz Hisari courthouse.
It took them a long time to work out who this body was because obviously finding it as a torso with no head, no penis, all those sorts of things.
Yeah. Well, not that I think you could identify a corpse by their penis,
no,
to be fair.
That's true. But the head could be handy, I guess,
I feel
to
like the head
identify
would be really handy.
someone.
Yeah. And also we've got to probably put into account as well. So in India in the early 2000s, not a lot of CCTV, if any. You know, some of the bigger department stores in the city had CCTV. That was about it.
Yep.
There was no, sort of mobile phone sort of coverage or things that were necessarily taken in that respect either.
Yep.
So investigating this was really, really difficult for the police as well.
Yes.
In April 2007, he took the life of a person named Upenda due to his involvement with, this time it was with one of Jha's daughter's friends. Mm-hmm. After the murder, again, he dismembered the body and placed him in front of the court in Delhi again.
Now,
but his whole body this time. He was dismembered, so he was in pieces, but his whole body was placed there. Aside from his head again, actually, I think.
So this was it, Gate 3 again?
Gate 3.
1. Yeah.
Yep.
So the other interesting thing about this one is when they found this body, it was tightly wrapped into this basket with this string around it, so tightly that the officers couldn't cut it open to see what was inside. So they basically were like, and some guy randomly just went, "Oh, I've got this, I'll help you," and cut the rope, right? Turns out that was Jha who did that, who later on, said, well, yeah, that was me.
That was me.
That was
You
me.
idiots.
I
You're so stupid.
I cut that open for you. Yeah.
Because I knew how it was
How
wrapped.
brazen of him to be right there as the police are finding this body and at this point too of the investigation, they were sort of a bit knowledgeable of who this potentially could be, and he's standing freaking right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's brazen.
Oh.
A month after that killing, Jha killed his friend Dilip. Dilip ate non-vegetarian food, and that really upset him.
That was what triggered him to kill him. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. He also placed his body in front of the Tehar jail gate number 3 on the 18th of May. Now, this one was a little bit different because he'd been placing all of these bodies in front of the jail as I think it was a way to draw attention or I don't even really understand the motive, I guess. But he wanted it to be known that he was smarter than them.
Oh, yeah.
And he knew more than them, and they could never catch him. But they hadn't even really put together, to be fair, they hadn't really even put together that all of these crimes were related because different police units investigated each different thing and they didn't have a cohesive, I don't even know if they do to this day, I'm sure it's different, but back in 2006, 2007, they didn't have a cohesive way of sharing information amongst their units. So no one knew that there was a serial killer doing the same thing. It wasn't until so was it this case where he phoned the police and basically said, I've left something out the front of your gate number 3?
He did that even in the first body. With the first body, he rang he rang a police officer, and he left a letter as well with that body.
Yes, the letter was about that.
Where he really detailed that he was he was traumatized by his time in jail, and it kind of from the letter, the police officers were basically like, oh, this is someone who was put in jail for not doing anything, that, and now he's killed someone. This is this is his first killing ever.
Because he said in the letter something along the lines of, you put me in jail for something I didn't do. Well, now I've done it.
And now I have done what you put me in jail for, which Nah, man. But yeah, so he really made out as if, like he was such an innocent man and you tortured me and humiliated me in jail and I didn't deserve any of that.
Yeah.
Even just being put in jail, he didn't deserve that. And so now I've gone and done what you've accused me of, kind of thing, and this is this body. But his letter was also really like targeted at the police and like just in general the disdain for them.
And how stupid they were and how he was so much smarter than them and they would never catch him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I think the third body, when he did make a phone call though, because he would ring into the police station and he would ask for certain police officers in the end too. He knew who to ask for. But he let them know and said, you're so stupid that you didn't even notice that on that first body, Amit, that he had tattooed his name into his arm. They were like, we can't find who this person is. We don't know who it is. He had his name tattooed on him. So he did sort of call them out on a few things that they weren't doing well. But yeah, they were able to, once he started calling into the police, they were able to track some of those phone calls. And they tracked one of the calls that there'd been a phone not far from a like convenience sort of store. So they went down there and spoke to the guy at the shop and said, have you seen anyone using that phone today? And he goes, I've seen one person make 3 phone calls, which they had 3 phone calls come into the jail and into the police office that night. So they were like, this is our guy. So he did describe what he looked like to them, and they did get a bit of a composite drawing of what they think the guy looked like.
He also described the vehicle that he was driving in. So he was driving in a motorised rickshaw.
Yeah, it was like electric kind of thing, so it didn't make much noise either. Yeah, so it was an interesting vehicle that wasn't well used. Well, it would have stood out a little bit, I think.
Apparently. I think the fact that it was motorised or powered was...
Because he had altered it in some way. It made it stand out in some way. Yeah.
So when the police were... Now, they kind of had a bit of an idea of what they were looking for, a rough area in which they were looking for this person and, a pretty good physical description of who they were looking for.
But, I mean, you think of Delhi, the population's huge. You're still looking for a needle in a haystack to me.
I think they were able to narrow it down as well because in his letter that he wrote, in the end there were 2 letters with 2 of the bodies, and they were actually able to narrow down by the language and the dialect he used with his writing that he was from Bihar. And so they kind of knew roughly what area Bihari people lived in Delhi because, as you were saying before, they all kind of stuck together.
Yeah.
And so they were patrolling that area. And there was one of the detectives was in that area trying to, look around. And he got a phone call from the guy who'd just spoken to the convenience store owner. And he said, look, we're looking for this motorised rickshaw that's got, I think it was like a certain colour and this. And he was literally at that time standing out the front. And he's like, oh my God, that vehicle is literally right in front of me. Like, what are the chances?
It's crazy. And such a huge city, and then that happens.
What the hell? So he goes into the house that the rickshaw is parked in front of, and who does he find in there? Chandrakant Jha.
Chandrakant. Yeah.
Jha, sorry.
Yeah.
He is literally sitting in there eating his dinner. And they arrest him.
They arrest him, yeah.
Take him down to the police station for questioning. And, yeah. He basically confesses, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't really put up much of a fight.
No, he's like literally when he gets into the interview, this is where I was saying that he unleashed. He did just tell them everything. He didn't hold back. He was like he wanted to get, he wanted them to find him.
He wanted them to see how great he was. So
yeah,
he basically said in that first police interview that he would dismember the victims' bodies and scatter the remains across Delhi because that way he wouldn't be found. His death ritual typically commenced at around 8 p.m. So he'd always do his killings at night. He would always restrain his victims. So he would tie them up, tie their legs together and tie their arms together.
Yeah.
And he would tell them that he was disciplining them for whatever bad thing or indiscretion he decided they'd committed.
Yeah.
And he would then, usually strangle them. That was the general method of murder.
Yeah.
Although I believe he did stab one of them or cut one of their jugular.
Yeah, I think you're right. I do remember
But I'm
reading
pretty
that.
sure the rest was strangulation,
Yeah.
died by strangulation. He would then just, because he'd always also commit the murders in his home.
Yes.
And he would then just eat his dinner and then decide what he'd do with the body a bit later on because, man's got to eat.
This is it. Yeah.
What a total piece of shit.
But he would like drive around in his rickshaw and he would just toss the body parts because
Into the river.
to wherever they
wherever,
found them all
into-
over, like
Yep.
all over the place. There was, like as you're saying, like
But
the
he'd
torso
go
would be one
far.
spot. Sorry,
How far can you go in a rickshaw? Because he'd go far.
I guess
There
that's
were,
why motorized it so he could get around a lot
he
more.
must
like,
have because
yeah.
some of them were like 40 odd kilometres away. Like
Yeah.
a significant amount away from
different towns
where he lived.
from
Yeah.
It was insane. Their list of like different places they all were. It was crazy.
Unbelievable.
Oh, amazing. But yeah, as we say, like all of his confessions though, like it didn't mean anything unless the police could find all the evidence. So they did do a very good job then of finding the pieces of the puzzle and, well, literally in terms of the bodies, and putting it all together to be able to get at least charges for 3 murders on him, even though we're aware that
there's at least 7.
there's at least I think 18 that ultimately they do believe they have enough evidence on of like being to link him to.
Okay.
But only 3 that was enough to be charged on.
Right.
But then when you really look at the whole timeline of his life, and as you were saying, it's potentially 40.
Yeah.
So the number just grows.
Yeah.
It's
And we'll never know. Like
No.
I truly believe we will never ever know how many people he's actually killed. He probably doesn't even know.
I don't think so because I think I guess we'll talk more about his psychology of what he's done. I don't think he thinks anything wrong of it.
No, he thinks
therefore it's
he's
not like-
justified. He thinks he's justified in doing it because
Yeah.
they ate a non-vegetarian meal.
Well, yeah, how dare
kill
they?
him.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Not good. But yeah, no, I mean, thankfully he did disclose everything. So I guess that helped the police in finding bits and pieces to put together all of his things. But as I say, you can't charge him unless they've got evidence. So
His defense team at trial did all they could really do was try and raise reasonable doubt. And so all they did was try and discredit all of the witnesses. The witnesses in the case were people who he'd attacked who'd survived, people who'd lived with him or been close associates of him.
yeah,
He then threatened them and told them that they weren't allowed to testify, but then they couldn't not because they were otherwise implicated. And so that would have been a really horrible thing for those people to have to do. But yeah, the only thing they could really do was try and introduce some reasonable doubt by, questioning the integrity of the people who were giving evidence. It stuck in some of the instances and some of the charges, but in others it didn't. And
Yeah.
as you said, in the end, he was charged with those 3 murders.
they did find at his place 2 bloodstained knives and some bloodstain on the floor, which they were able to use in court too to link up the murders that had occurred in his home.
Was that the blood of the 3 people then?
I think there was 2,
Two?
that they
Okay.
could link to him having done that at home, whereas I don't know that they know
Right.
where he murdered the
third-
third person.
/ all the others.
Yeah,
I believe
yeah.
mostly he did murder them at home, but I think the 3 the evidence, the blood evidence in that house were just the most recent ones.
It was also the ones that they had like bodies of to go that matches, whereas they may have found other blood
DNA,
and
potentially.
DNA, but had no one to link it to, like
Yeah,
of going
that's
who's
fair
like,
too.
yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't have the bodies, so
Yeah.
they have because there's certainly ones that they've never found.
Yeah. So he was sentenced, on, being found guilty of the 3 counts of murder, he was then sentenced to 2 death sentences and life imprisonment until death in Feb of 2013. But later the death sentence was commuted to life imprisonment
Yeah.
without remission, which means without parole.
Which I found really interesting. 'Cause
Well, isn't it?
did you find the same stuff I did about him escaping?
Well, he didn't escape. They let him out.
Yeah.
In 2020,
no, so I've got 23 and 25.
Yeah, that they definitely happened.
Yeah.
In 2020, though, he asked for parole on 5 occasions and furlough on 7 occasions. So
It's furlough.
as in like a grant, an access of leave.
Okay. Leave. I'm sorry. What?
Citing his role as father to 4 young daughters as the basis of his appeal.
But by that stage, they would have been like in their 20s, yeah?
So I think 2 of them were still underage at the time, and I think the other 3 were adults.
Yeah.
In 2023, when he was released, though.
He was granted parole in August of 2023.
Yeah.
And he failed to surrender.
Yeah, but why was he granted parole? Do you know?
No, I couldn't find it.
I'll tell you why. I know why. Because he had to arrange a marriage for his eldest daughter because she was too old and
spinster.
She had to get married, and there were no other male relatives in the family.
What, none of his
who would be
5 brothers of his own?
Who would be able to take care of that. So they let him out for 4 months.
Someone who just butchers people randomly.
Yes. And who'd been in prison before and then murdered people.
What the fuck?
To arrange a marriage for his eldest daughter.
That's insane.
It blows my mind.
That's scary. Like, I don't want to ever meet this person.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been even allowed near his family.
Nope.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
Because then again on January 17th, 2025...
So we're talking like we're recording this in 2025. This was this year.
This is recent.
Yeah.
He was arrested at Old Delhi railway station because he was fleeing to attempt. He was attempting to flee back to Bihar. Like what? How the hell did he get there?
I don't think we know.
Just blows my mind that there's this like
but
he
then
could.
You look at like the prison, right? So Tehar prison. Mm-hmm. It would be difficult to physically escape from. I am sure it is corrupt, and I'm sure if you had enough money and enough people.
But does he have enough money? Like, I mean, where would he get that money from?
I feel like he's got supporters though.
Oh, what? Like, what? Wait.
Yeah.
Who would support him?
People who were in the community who thought he was helping them. Because he posited himself in that community in Delhi of all of the expats from his village.
So like he's what, like a Robin Hood?
Yes, exactly.
Who butchers people?
Well, just ignore that bit.
Just stick your head in the sand about that stuff because it's all okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's, nah, there's no way.
Oh, no.
I actually reckon that scares the shit out of me. And I don't want to go to Delhi now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because he could just be wandering around and decide to butcher you up and stick you in a basket.
Although he does only butcher men.
True that. Okay, I'm safe.
So I think you're okay.
Okay, I'm good. That makes it okay.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be fine.
We're fine.
Just don't travel with the boys.
Yeah,
or anything,
no.
obviously.
Rightio. Oh, sure.
It's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre.
This is the thing. So, I want to hear more about the psychology of him.
Okay.
Because, all right, so he honestly believes he's just doing good in the world by someone who's vegetarian not eating vegetarian.
Yeah.
You deserve to die. That's a really bad thing.
You're an absolute piece of shit and you deserve to die.
All right.
Okay, let me find my notes about the psychologist because her take on it was interesting. I mean, obviously,
while you're looking for that,
he grew up in a really emotionally devoid. I'm just going back to our Rachel Tolles thing now.
Yeah,
his mum and dad did not give a shit about him.
No, he ticks boxes on all those.
A lot of boxes.
Yeah,
he grew up impoverished. He was malnourished. There was a lot going on for him and his family. He was one of 6 boys and he's the only one who's committed murders that we know of.
Yeah.
Why him? why him? It's very, very fascinating.
So in the documentary where, as I was saying before, that this there was that podcast I was listening to where the girl listened to it in Hindi and then in English, and she was saying to me about the fact that the translation into English missed it a little bit. So in the letters that he sent the police, the lady who was the psychologist in the documentary talked about the fact that in the letters he clearly had no respect for his mother. But in English, what we get from the letters is that he used language like motherfuckers. And so I remember listening to it myself kind of going, oh, that's a big leap. Like, just because you say motherfucker, you therefore have no respect for your mother. Like, that to me doesn't correlate.
Yeah, but if you call Pat a motherfucker.
I call it every day. No.
I get what you mean, though, like in terms of the severity scale. I get that it's a long jump to go to
big
murder.
Jump to be like, I have no respect for my mum and I'm going to murder people, right?
Yeah.
So, but what she was explaining was that the translation is not really motherfuckers, and there are different Hindi words that were in that letter that indicated that more strongly, that her psychology take on it was accurate. It was the English translation that was poor. So because they're not words that we have out in English, I can't explain exactly what the words were of how much that would affect that and how that would be interpreted that way. But it's definitely on the money that yes, the letters were written in a way that very clearly showed absolute disdain and disrespect for his mum. So, but that's still then the thing that then doesn't fit for me is that I would have thought then he would target females and women of sort of a similar age gap to him and his mum. You know what I mean? Rather than or women of an age of his mum at the time when these disrespectful things happened that he didn't like that his mum did.
Do you think the fact that he had daughters might have changed that?
Yeah, I don't know what the psychology behind that is.
Well, I'm not sure either, but it is interesting to note that all of the men he killed were late 20s, early 30s.
They were all young men.
They were all like within 4 years of each other in terms of age.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
There was he had a definite type and it was definitely this, if he felt disrespected by them, and that could be very minimal, that was his MO.
Yeah.
It was that a male, age between 20 and 24 basically, and somehow disrespect him.
Yeah.
They were his criteria to commit murder, or still are if you could get out. So I'm intrigued again, going back to the Rachel Toll stuff in terms of the breakdown of what makes a serial killer. Like, is that his what's that word that she talked about of like at the age of 3 when you
the
paraphilia,
and
you make that attachment and that sort of becomes what they target.
That's basically what this psychologist is saying as well.
Yeah, right.
So I'll just read a little bit of what she said.
Yeah.
In the case of Chandrakant Jha, social and environmental factors play a major role in shaping his criminal behaviour as compared to other psychological and genetic factors. His early childhood also played an important factor in his later criminal behaviour. Jha's early upbringing and the absence of positive role models significantly contributed to his descent into a life characterised by darkness. Throughout his formative years, he lacked the guidance and mentorship that could have steered him in a more positive direction, rendering him vulnerable to the negative influences of his surroundings. So I think by that she means like the poverty and all of that sort of stuff and the things that he ended up getting himself involved in. But then in court, this psychologist, I think it was her mentor actually, gave evidence. And in the evidence, they labelled his way of killing as an extremely brutal, grotesque and diabolical way to raise intense and extreme indignation of the community. Mental and physical suffering inflicted on the victim before his death is immense. There is a significant degree of planning on the part of Jha while committing the murder. The judge then said that Jha is a mission-oriented and task-oriented serial killer whose only motive is to expose, mock, and challenge the police, and that Jha's act of threatening the police that he would send such gifts again reflects a lack of remorse and his intention to repeat his criminal act, which is why he ended up giving the sentence, the death penalty sentence to him originally.
Because he'll do it again.
Because he will do it again.
Well, so let's give him parole and let's let him out to go and organise his daughter's marriage.
I know. It makes, I mean, that would never happen here. Like, obviously that would never happen.
It would be absolute uproar.
So I think it's hard for us to get our heads around it, but maybe culturally that is obviously very, very important.
Yeah, I get it. But no matter how culturally important something is here in Australia a release from jail,
it would never happen. That's
you
what
might
I'm saying.
get released to go to, say, your parents' funeral or something,
But
for like
even then,
for
that's a high.
and it'd be for a certain period of time of like an hour or two, like kind of situation, and it'd be chaperoned and like, whereas this was like, nah, mate, go sort yourself out, like, go arrange that marriage, and we'll see you in a few months, shall we?
No, you got 90 days or whatever it was, This psychologist then said, I think I was saying before how he's never had an analysis done, but in everything that she's looked at, she said, in relation to signs and symptoms of personality-related issues, signs like grandiosity, manipulation, disregard for others' feelings was observed in Chandrakant Jha, and he moreover fit into the category of antisocial personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder. However, there was never a crystal clear conclusion provided, as the required tests and assessments were never conducted. Ooh, I think she's fucking nailed that.
I think, totally. But it still like makes me question though, like what has made him go from the to the absolute extreme of the butchering of people? Like what? I don't know. There's killing someone, and then there's
dismembering them, cutting off their penis, throwing that somewhere, throwing their head somewhere else.
Like, to me, that says, well, cutting off the penis particularly to me says that he's potentially been sexually abused,
assaulted. Yep.
So there's just so much more to me that his crime says about him.
I just don't know that we will ever know any more than what we currently know.
No. I mean, you want to understand a brain like that.
Yeah.
And I know we can't, especially if no one's actually gone in and analysed him.
Yeah.
Because, surely, like, there's a way of doing that. I feel like everyone should. If they've ever, these crimes, I just feel like they should be analysed afterwards. I'm hanging for Erin Patterson to be analysed within an inch of her life.
Oh, it's coming.
Find out there, yeah. I'm so intrigued that I want to know what has happened to this person to create that. And
I'm with you 100% on that, because
like neglectful childhood's one thing. I get it, and that's going to create, an adult that doesn't do the right thing. But it's the extreme of what he's done.
Oh, his actions, his behaviour is so extreme. Even as you was just saying, even in relation to the way he murders and dismembers bodies. Like, that's such an extreme way to do things as well. And with such little regard for consequence too, because, he had the knives, the murder weapons, he had the victim's blood in his house. Like, there was no covering it up. It was just brazen.
To rock up, back at the body that he's left there, and and go, I'll help you, cut it open.
That's not necessarily uncommon, is it?
No, killers want to go back to
the scene of their crime.
Absolutely, to like stand there and talk to the police and say
that gets me.
I'll give you a hand with it. When he had to have been at that point though too. I think they were at a point of like knowing a little bit about who this person was. So they kind of should have known. I think even at that point they had that composition of what he looked like.
Oh, did they?
I'm pretty sure that they already had that drawing.
Just hadn't seen it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fuck. Right.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Oh, this is an interesting one. As
really
I said,
is.
I don't think we'll ever, ever, ever know any more than what we currently know.
But I hope we never, ever get another one of him.
No.
And if we do, can we people as a community not let them out?
Can we just keep them in prison?
That really disturbed me when I was
because life sentence without parole means life sentence without parole.
For a damn good reason.
Yes.
I mean, he could have literally in those couple of months he was let out to do that. I mean, imagine if he'd
And how do we know that he didn't?
Maybe,
we actually might not even.
He might have been
know.
interviewing grooms for his daughter's future and kind of going, no,
don't like you.
You've looked at me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Bad.
You're done.
Imagine being his son-in-law. I mean, I feel bad for his daughter. No wonder she's a bit of a spinster and getting too old because everyone would be terrified. I'm 20 to 24. I don't want to be.
It's probably worth noting, even though you and I, before we looked into this, we'd never heard of him before.
No.
But in India, he is infamous.
Yes.
So it's not like people don't know who he is. Mm-mm. He's very well known.
Yeah.
And people were scared. Before he got caught, people were terrified.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Don't blame him.
It was 9 years or something of terror that he was, eliciting on the poor, unsuspecting people of Delhi.
Oh, God, it's just awful.
Yeah.
This has been a really different one.
Very different. Very, very different. And I found, the language, all the language stuff and even the traditions, the customs of the country of India and the way their judicial system works and the policing and all of the corruption and things like that we probably haven't really discussed in any of our other cases really.
Not even with even it was Chappelle Corbier, therefore it was in English in a lot of it, but a lot of it wasn't too. With being a Bali case, we had different language there, but not to the impact of what this one, what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a really interesting one. I think someone must have suggested this case. So to whoever did, thank you. Otherwise, I don't know how we got it on our list.
No.
But yeah, it was good.
Yes.
So next week, we are covering a case that has actually been requested by lots of different people.
A lot of people requested it.
We are covering the Anita Cobby case. So we're back in Australia next week.
Yep.
And we'll be bringing that one to you guys. So thank you very much for joining us again on another episode of Two Crime Besties. We are loving this. Please keep it going. We're just, couldn't be more delighted.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so great. So thank you, everybody. Make sure you follow us on whatever podcast app you're listening to. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as all the young bucks on YouTube say these days.
I was actually looking, and I noticed that in our analytics that only 25%, which blows my mind, only 25% of our listeners actually subscribe to our channel, hit that follow button or that on Spotify or whatever you listen to your
Apple
podcasts
or
on.
Whatever.
So hit that button so you come back to us. I mean, clearly people are coming back and listening, but they're not hitting that button.
Yeah, we can see that. So we don't know exactly who's listening every week, but by the numbers we can absolutely figure that a lot of people are coming back week on week. If you're one of those people who hasn't yet subscribed, just hitting that button. That is all you need to do.
Heaps.
It really helps. So thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll see you next week, everybody. Stay curious, crime besties.
Bye.